That display is coming. Coming.
Swamiji,
Namaste. Namaste.
Pranam
Namaste.
Maharaj,
Namaste. Namaste.
আপনাকে দেখতে পাচ্ছি না তো।
Oh, just a few. Okay. Now is it visible?
The text is visible, Maharaj. Now we see your place where you would normally sit.
Camera. Okay, then I can start this one. Let's switch on. Is it now on?
We can hear you, but we
can
cannot
hear you, but
see.
yeah, so it's okay if you
Yeah,
can
right now it's okay. Yeah, right now it's perfect.
Okay, we'll start with our prayers. Now I think you have to set the camera. I mean, aim the camera. Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma. Okay, we'll start with our prayers. श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम् सहना भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधितमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ओम् Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya aviravirmayedhi. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Akhandam Satchidanandam Avang Manasagocharam Atmanam Akhiladharam Asraye Bhishta Siddhe. May we be protected, may we be nourished, may we strive with energy and vigor. May our study be enlightening and not give rise to hostility. Om peace, peace. Lead us to truth and not to untruth. Lead us to enlightenment and not ignorance. Lead us to immortality and not death. Let the self-manifest Atman grow in me. Om peace, peace, peace. I take refuge in the self, the indivisible, the existence, consciousness, bliss, absolute, beyond the reach of words and thought, and the substratum of all, for the attainment of my cherished desire. So today is Buddha Purnima, very auspicious day. It is thrice blessed day. On this very day he was born. Vishak, full moon day. And on this day he got enlightenment. And on this very day, that means not immediately, but after 80 years, he got Mahaparinirvana. So this is very significant day. And what Sri Ramakrishna thought about him, we'll just mention that, because our topic is Vivek Chudamani, and hopefully David, yes. David will read from the complete works of Swami Vivekananda and then we go forward. Before we go, let me give a little glimpse what Sri Ramakrishna thought about it. You know, in Sri Ramakrishna we find everything. Dvaita, Vishishtadvaita and Advaita. These are various aspects of the same truth. It is like seeing a house from outside and from threshold and from inside. Perspectives are different, but house is the same. So, we see this Jiva Jagat, that means world and its creatures. Also we see this, the person. And there must be a creator. So we infer there is a creator. So three things, Jiva, Jagat and God. And then what is the relationship between this? So one relationship is possible that, oh God, you are separate. You know, you are there somewhere sitting on the seventh heaven. So this is one kind of relationship, that means Dvaita, duality. That means you are separate, I am separate, this creation is separate. Then, you know, like this, a son also can think about that, Dad, you are different and I am different. And then the son discovers that though I look different, but I am made up of the same DNA. As father, mother, parents have. The same DNA. That's why nowadays they identify. So there must be some relationship. Otherwise, how it is possible that he created and he lives there and maybe sitting on the chair, a spectre in hand and doing nothing. So that does not satisfy. Of course, this is also way of worship, that's fine, no problem. Second is to have a relationship. That's also good. But finally, that Father knows that through my Son, I am fulfilled. So me and my Son are one. As Jesus also said, me and my Father are one. So this also another relationship. So one is, as Hanuman said that when I have awareness of my body-mind complex, then I am your servant. But when I am a jiva buddhya, deha buddhya dasoham, when I have body consciousness, then I am your servant. Jiva buddhya tadamshakah, when I am a jiva, individual soul, then I am part of it. And atma buddhya tamevaham, when I have this awareness of my real self, then it is me and me alone. So we'll read that, and that time I'll tell a story also. But what Sri Ramakrishna said, let me read that, so that will clarify. Brahman is without taint. Sri Ramakrishna says, today we have read it. Brahman is without taint. The three gunas are in Brahman. But it is itself untainted by them. What is three guna? Like we see on the screen, and an actor is talking, or so some movement is happening. So all this is happening because of some flickering. Maybe 1,000 or maybe few thousands of points are there which are flickering on and off, on and off. And we have that idea that, oh, somebody is talking or somebody is moving or horse is galloping. So this is because of three gunas. One is active, one is lighted, and one is switch on, switch off. And this transition. So this is, the whole world is like that, Trigunatmika. So Brahman is without taint, the three gunas are in Brahman, but it is itself untainted by them. So screen is not affected by it. It's flickering, but it is not affected. Screen is unaffected, but light is falling on it, and then we see movies. You may find both good and bad smells in the air, but the air itself is unaffected. Shankaracharya was going along a street in Benares. An outcast carrying a load of meat suddenly touched him. What? Said Shankara. You have touched me. Revered sir, said outcast, I have not touched you, nor have you touched me. The Atman is above all contaminations, and you are the pure Atman. Of Brahman and Maya, the Jnani rejects Maya. So Jnani rejects Maya. So Sri Ramakrishna also is like in all three states. Sometimes he's talking to devotees, and he's worrying about devotees, my Naren, my Rakhal. And sometimes he's totally merged in Samadhi. So Maya is like veil. You see, I hold this towel before me, between you and the lamp. You no longer see the light of the lamp. After that, now you cannot see my face anymore, when he put his towel in front of him. As Ramprasad said, raise the curtain and behold. The Bhakta, however, does not ignore Maya. He worships Mahamaya, taking refuge in her. So Sri Ramakrishna also did the same thing. Relationship with Mother, the Divine Mother. He says, O Mother, please stand aside from my path. Only if you step out of my way shall I have the knowledge of Brahman. The Jnanis explain away all three states, waking, dream, and sleep state, deep sleep state, but the Bhaktas accept them all. As long as there is the ego, everything else exists. So long as the I exists, the Bhakta sees that it is God who has become Maya, the universe, the living beings, and 24 cosmic principles that we are talking about all the time. But if that we stop there, then there is no samadhi, and Sri Ramakrishna would not go to samadhi. And he would say that when I go to samadhi and I come down, I utter Om. I have already stepped about 100 cubits down. But the theory Maya is dry. Repeat what I said. So Maya is dry, Narendra said. Then he said that you are not Jnani, you are Bhakta. But when he came here, he talked about Jnana, Jnana, Jnana. Why? It is because that is easily understandable. Emotion, many times it may lead to unwanted path, because heart becomes soft and then it is tainted. So it should be that in the beginning some knowledge, jnana also to be cultivated. So even after attaining jnana, the jnani can live in the world, retaining vidya maya, that is to say bhakti, compassion, renunciation. So compassion, renunciation will not come automatically. This is, one has to practice that. And for that renunciation, how I can renounce anything? If I think that, okay, this world is real, then I cannot have renunciation. But if I know this world is transitory, then only I'll have renunciation. And such virtues, this serves him two purposes. First, the teaching of men, and second, the enjoyment of divine bliss. So anyway, I will not go forward. The ego of knowledge and the ego of devotion can do no harm. It is the wicked ego, wicked I, that is harmful. After realizing God, a man becomes like a child. There is no harm in the ego of a child. So this is after realization. So, as we are devotees, we can have that devotion. But at the same time, to cultivate renunciation, to cultivate proper understanding, proper assessment of things, it is good to have a knowledge as instrument, so that we are not fooled. Returning to the relative plane after reaching the absolute is like coming back to this shore of a river after going to the other side. And then he says, the body is ill, but the mind is free from avidya maya. So now he is explaining about himself. The body is ill, but the mind is free from avidya maya. Let me tell you, there is no thought in my mind of Ramlal or home or wife, but I have been worrying about Purna, that Kayastha boy. I am not in the least anxious about the others. It is God alone who has kept this Vidya Maya in me. So otherwise his mind would go to Samadhi. So, but if one retains Vidya Maya, one comes back to this world. The avatars keep this Vidya Maya so long as man has even the slightest desire. He must be born again and again. When he gets rid of all desires, then he is liberated. But the bhaktas do not seek liberation. If a person dies in Banaras, he attains liberation. He is not born again. Liberation is the goal of the jnanis. Anyway, so this is the view as Sri Ramakrishna uh, expressed many times. Okay, what we'll go to, we'll read the complete works of Swami Vivekananda. David.
Okay, Swami. Death is stalking day and night over this earth of ours. But at the same time, we think we shall live eternally. A question was once asked of King Yudhishthira, "What is the most wonderful thing on this earth?" And the king replied, "Every day people are dying around us, and yet men think they will never die. And this is Maya." These tremendous contradictions in our intellect, in our knowledge, yea, in all the facts of our life face us on all sides. A reformer arises and wants to remedy the evils that are existing in a certain nation. And before they have been remedied, 1,000 other evils arise in another place. It is like an old house that is falling. You patch it up in one place, and the ruin extends to another. In India, our reformers cry and preach against the evils of enforced widowhood. In the West, non-marriage is the great evil. Help the unmarried on one side, they are suffering. Help the widows on the other, they are suffering. It is like chronic rheumatism. You drive from the head and it goes to the body. You drive it from there and it goes to the feet. Reformers arise and preach that learning, wealth, and culture should not be in the hands of a select few, and they do their best to make them accessible to all. These may bring more happiness to some, but perhaps as culture comes, physical happiness lessens. The knowledge of happiness brings the knowledge of unhappiness. Which way then shall we go? The least amount of material prosperity that we enjoy is causing the same amount of misery elsewhere. This is the law. The young perhaps do not see it clearly, but those who have lived long enough and those who have struggled enough will understand it. And this is Maya. These things are going on day and night, and to find a solution of this problem is impossible. Why should it be so? It is impossible to answer this, because the question cannot be logically formulated. There is neither how nor why.
This is important. The question cannot be formulated. Why? Because we are already in Maya. Being in the domain of Maya, we cannot ask question how Maya functions. It is like, I give that example. If there is a story, the character of the story cannot conceive who has written me. Or a painting, the painting, that character, the person cannot ask who has painted me, why he has painted me, because it is already in that Maya. And the creator is beyond time, space and causation. In the story there is a time frame. When you go to movie, you enter in a domain where in 5 minutes you spend 20 years. So the hero was a child. In 2 minutes he becomes adult. And we admit, yes, that's correct. So in that sphere, that logic works. But from that standpoint, one cannot ask who is the cause and why he has done it, why this contradiction happens. But it happens. This contradiction is Maya. Yes.
There is neither how nor why, in fact. We only know that it is, and that we cannot help it. Even to grasp it, to draw an exact image of it in our own mind is beyond our power. How can we solve it then? Maya is a statement of the fact of this universe, of how it is going on. People generally get frightened when these things are told them. But bold we must be. Hiding facts is not the way to find a remedy. As you all know, a hare hunted by dogs puts its head down and thinks itself safe. So when we run into optimism, we do just like the hare, but that is no remedy. There are objections against this, but you may remark that they are generally from people who possess many of the good things of life. In this country, in England, it is very difficult to become a pessimist. Everyone tells me how wonderfully the world is going on, how progressive. But what he himself is his own world. Old questions arise. Christianity must be the only true religion of the world, because Christian nations are prosperous. But that assertion contradicts itself, because the prosperity of the Christian nation depends on the misfortune of non-Christian nations. There must be someone to prey on. Suppose the whole world were to become Christian. Then the Christian nations would become poor, because there would be no non-Christian nations for them to prey upon. Thus the argument kills itself. Animals are living upon plants, men upon animals, and worst of all, upon one another, the strong upon the weak. This is going on everywhere, and this is Maya. What solution do you find for this? We hear every day many explanations, and are told that in the long run all will be good. Taking it for granted that this is possible, why should there be this diabolical way of doing good? Why cannot good be done through good, instead of through these diabolical methods? The descendants of the human beings of today will be happy, but why must there be all this suffering now? There is no solution. This is Maya.
Okay. So first thing he said, statement of fact. Say suppose I saw an incident and I came here and I am explaining what happened on the way. And you may have some image in your mind, but that image is not that incident. So, statement of fact. Fact, something is there, but some statement is different from that, though it may have some similarities. Similarly, when I give an example of a beaker and water, and you see a pencil, it is straight, and put in that, you'll see tilted. So that means when it goes to another medium, then it appears that it is tilted, but in fact it is not tilted. So truth is there in this world, but we have different reading of the same fact. So why this difference? Because of, we can say, this is for Maya, because of Maya. I'll give few examples, like painting. So painting has got two things. Say if only painting, it is, nobody knows there is painting. There must be an observer and painting. What is painting? Some color. Maybe orderly, according to that artist. Then, so observer and the painting. So that is, oh, very good painting, or oh, no, it's not that good. Then magic. Say a magician comes and shows something. If there is no observer, what is the magic? So observer must be there. And trick. Then movie or videos. There again, there should be an observer who is watching the movie or video. So again, observer should be there, and that photos in quick succession. Then we say, they are interacting or telling a story. Then story. There also a listener should be there. And some power of words. So because of power of words, that narrator will take your imagination as he wants. He'll play with it. So observer must be there. Mirage. Again, there must be a person or say an entity who is confused and sees, oh, this is water. Otherwise, there is no meaning of mirage. And the celebrated example of rope and snake. There also a man be there, must be there, a person should be there who looks at the rope and says, oh, it is a snake. So this world has a notion, has a understanding, and we are in this. So the clue is, who is this observer? Where to find out this observer? Now I'll tell you that story, what I wanted to. And this is story from Ramana Maharshi. Ramana Maharshi. So Ramana Maharshi would always tell, find out who is this I. Because, you cannot find out in the whole world. World is tremendous, huge. Brahman. It is Bringha. Bringha means huge. There is no end of it. But you can find there is one observer. In all the cases that I gave, not only that, everything, there must be an observer. So clue lies there. We are to find who is this observer. If we can find the observer, then the work is done. Now, Ramana Maharshi would say, find out who is this I. So some devotee said, oh, it is very difficult. So finding out, who am I? Not I am not this body, I am not the mind, I am this and that. It confuses. Rather, I would like to worship God in form. Ramana Maharshi would say, yes, that's good, very good. Worship God in form. Okay, if I worship Narayana, so what will happen? Will I go to that Vishnu Loka? Yes, he will go there. Then what will be there? Then Vishnu and you are living separately. Will Vishnu talk to me? Yes, he will talk to you also. Okay. So, he said, okay, then what will he talk? So he'll talk, find out who are you. So, ultimately you have to find out who am I. So why not here? Because this is the, everywhere I see, this is me who is the observer. And in this world, it is me who is suffering. And some enjoyment also is there. But, for Viveki, all, even enjoyments are also suffering. And Bhagavan Buddha did the same thing. So today is Buddha Purnima. Bhagavan Buddha did the same thing. He found that Jara Marana. First, he discovered that everybody dies. And everybody suffers old age. Decay is there. So this is what he discovered. That's why he first, the truth in Arya Satya means noble truth. There is misery. There is misery in this world. And then there is a way to go beyond. And it can be done. One can go beyond this. And then what are the path? So 8 paths. So first is there is misery in this world. There is a way to go beyond. And that it can be attained. And he attained it. So first is Jara Marana. Jara Marana means birth, death, and also old age. Why it happens? Because of category, jati. Why that happens? Because there is that bhava. Anyway, then Shadayatan, then the whole steps are there. So this is that it shows that there is a path, and ultimately it is avidya. Avidya means ignorance. So here also we are talking about the same avidya. Because of avidya, magic works on me. Because of avidya, I am confused and I see this world as this world. I don't see God here. If, as a devotee, I see God in this whole world, then it's done. Nothing more is required. But we don't see. Because of that, we are jealous about someone, we are angry with someone, we want to grab more. So, this will not happen. So, yes, devotees, they also accept all Vidya Maya. Vidya Maya, not Avidya Maya. So, here, what we are talking about, avidya. So, there is a shloka, what he says. Anirodham anutpadam anuchedam ashashvatam. There is no nirodha. I mean all negation. So it's better not to venture there. So ultimately all negations, what remains, that is reality. And in Mandukya Upanishad also similar, na nirodha, na chotpatti, etc. That means there is no nirodha, no utpatti, no production. All these are within the domain of Maya. But the pure self is never tainted by that. Pure self stands alone. But that pure self cannot be explained. You cannot explain what you really are. That is what we have to find out. What it can say, it has no eyes. And eyes see through those eyes. It has no mind. Achakshuhu, asrotram, tad apani padam. There is no limb. There are no limbs. So all negations, what remains? That is the self. That is the observer. So in this case also, when we see we have hands, feet, etc. Okay, in the beginning, that's good. I offer my pranam. If I am stuck there, then I cannot grow. So we have to find out who is this observer, who is working, who is speaking, who is speaking, who is utilizing this instrument of speech. We have to find out. And this inquiry leads to this Vedantasara. Now we'll go to 136. Apavadonam Adhyaropa. So first, this whole universe, the Vedantasara explained that it is what? It is because of Ajnana. Ajnana has two forces. It covers and it projects something else. So this is, in reality, it is God, but what we see? We see world here. So it has covered its real self and projected as this world. So Shuddha Chaitanya and Ajnan, when it Ajnan Upahita Chaitanya means conscious being, when it comes close proximity with ignorance, then it is called Ajnana Upahita Chaitanya. Okay, like this. So I have this book. So book is covered by space. And outside also space. And in this room also space. So it is space when it comes in contact with the book, that is called Upahita. Upahita means when it has come in contact with. So this self has come in contact with this body-mind complex. And it illumines. And then we find, oh, this is me. See how ugly I am or how beautiful I am. I'm tall, I'm fair, I'm black or brown. So this is the Chaitanya, that means consciousness, is tainted. Consciousness is tainted because of something which has no connection of its own. There is no connection at all. This body is only comprised of 5 matters. 5 matters, when it comes in contact with consciousness, then it illumines, then we see, oh, this is my body. Like this bulb. The light comes through that. We said, oh, it is coming from the bulb. Actually, it is coming from the electricity. And when it is glowing in vacuum, so it glows. So it also illumines others. So we have to find out that consciousness. Why you have to find out? So there is 2 ways, of course, bhakti. So you have to wait and you have to pray, oh God. So this is one way, and that's good. It's not bad. But if we are stuck there, it is, in course of time it will happen. But a person, when he is really hungry, he cannot stop. He wants food immediately. So that is called vairagya, renunciation. So anyway, so all the whole world, 24 cosmic principles and 5 elements, everything, it is only ignorance, ajnana, and its evolutes. Ajnana and its evolutes. So this whole world he compared with that. Now we go to next one. Now apavada. What now we have to do? We have to discard. Apavada nama rajju vivartasya sarpasya rajju matratva vat vastu vivartasya. Vivarta. 2 things are there. One is called parinama. Parinama means so converting into something else. Like milk converts into yogurt. You cannot bring it back. So it's called parinama. And the second one is called vivarta. Vivarta means it is not converted, rather it's only, it seemingly, it looks like it has changed its character. So that also will come here. So let me read it. As a snake falsely perceived in a rope is ultimately found out to be nothing but the rope. Similarly, the world of unreal things, beginning with ignorance, superimposed upon the reality. So here reality is rope. So here reality is Brahman. On that, because of some power, ignorance, power, we see this world. We don't see Brahman. We don't see our consciousness. It is our consciousness that is illumining the whole world. But we see we are the smallest being. And this world is huge. But the reverse is true. As a snake falsely perceived in a rope is ultimately found out to be nothing but the rope, similarly, the world is unreal things, beginning with ignorance, superimposed upon the reality, is realized at the end to be nothing but Brahman. What is that? Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta, Swabhava. It is eternally free. We are eternally free. We are purest of being. Pure. Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha. We are enlightened already. Only we don't know. So this we have to discover. Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta. And it is free. But we feel we are bound. And not that all the time we feel bound. When we are in sleep, in deep sleep, we are liberated. But again, when we come to this world, again we see pressure from society, pressure from a peer group, pressure from all sides of all kinds of things, like tax. We have to buy something, we have to eat something, and lots of things. But when we go to sleep and when we go to deep sleep, all these are forgotten. So, as a snake falsely perceived in a rope is ultimately found out to be nothing but the rope, similarly, the world of unreal things, beginning with ignorance, ajnana, superimposed upon the reality, is realized at the end to be nothing but Brahman. This is known as desuperimposition. So, what we have to find out, that observer, observer in a painting, observer in a magic, observer in movie or videos, observer in story, observer in mirage, observer in that rope snake illusion. So everywhere we have to find the observer. We have to find out in this whole world who is the observer. Here, find out who you are. You can go to heaven and ask God, and God will ask, find out who you are. So it is better for us to find out here. Then we'll see, oh, then all problem is solved. Then there is no snake, there is no painting, it's all color. There is no trick of the magician. Then you know that what he is doing. And there is no, when you may see movie, but you know it is not real. People weep. Once I saw a movie that Doctor what? Dr. Strange, he vanished. So a boy started, oh, Dr. Strange vanished. But you'll see a fun in that. So, as a snake falsely perceived in a rope is ultimately found out to be nothing but the rope, similarly the world of unreal things, beginning with ignorance, superimposed upon the reality, is realized at the end to be nothing but Brahman. So we have to find the observer in its real sense. As of now, when I am with the consciousness of body, I am consciousness in adjunct with or in contact with body-mind complex. No, the pure self that we have to find out. So this is known as refutation, that's apavada. Now, two things are there, I told. One is called vikara. Vikara means transformation. Thus it has been said, vikara is the actual modification of a thing. Like as I said, milk turns into yogurt, you cannot bring it into milk. So that's called modification or transformation. A thing altering into another substance, while vivarta is only an apparent modification. Like I give the example, the pencil, when I take out, it is straight. But you put there, it looks tilted. So this is vivarta. When you see we are driving, you can see water at the distance. But you know that it's not water, it is vivarta. So we go next. Okay. Tathahi, now it is easier. Tathahi etat bhogayatanam chaturvidha sakala sthula sharira jatam. Now let me translate. To illustrate the four kinds of physical bodies, jarayuja, andaja, shvedaja, etc., that whatever body comes out from eggs or whatever. So four kinds of physical bodies, which are the seats of enjoyment, the different kinds of food and drink, etc., which are the objects of enjoyment, the 14 planes such as Bhur, Bhuva, Swa, Mahatapa, Jana, Satya, etc., which contains them, and the universe, Brahmand, the whole world, whole universe, which contains these planes, all these are reduced to their cause, the five gross elements. So, five gross elements is manifesting combination and recombination of the whole universe is made like this. And actually, what is that? It's my perception. So, I am seeing this. So, this Brahmanda. So, first it reduced into five. Huge Vishwa Brahmanda, this huge universe. But it has now been brought into five elements. Say, like scientists, they have discovered that there are 120, some are unstable, elements are there. But this is a different kind of study. Here we have, because we have five senses, those five senses have five sense objects. Based on that, we say five elements. Whole world is nothing else but combination and recombination of these five elements, and I am the observer. Etani shabdani shabdadi vishani. So these five gross elements, together with the five objects such as sound, touch, smell, etc., and the subtle bodies, all these are reduced to their cause, the uncompounded elements. So, tanmatra or uncompounded elements. Etani sattvadi guna. So now, because of three gunas, etani, the five uncompounded elements, together with the tendencies of sattva, rajas and tamas, in the reverse order to that of creation, are reduced to their cause, namely consciousness associated with ignorance. As I gave example of this book. So here space is associated with this book. So one thing is associated with book and one thing is not associated with book. Now just imagine, space is also within this. See, I am talking. Before I start my talking, there is silence. After I finish my talking, say even one word, there is silence. In between also it is silence, I am breaking that silence. Space, one is upahita, but something is anupahita, that means without tent, in and through this book. Imagine that. Similarly, I am the observer. I am observing this world. So one observer is tainted, as it were, in contact with this world. But there is one observer who is not even tainted. We have to find out that one. Etani sattvadi. So the five uncompounded elements, together with the tendencies of sattva, rajas and tamas. What is sattva, rajas, tamas? Like brightness and dullness, tamas. Rajas means transition. So as we see in a screen, similarly everything is happening. See, I am moving my hands, then resting also. So whatever we see, it is based on sattva, rajas and tamas. Say you drive car, it looks like it is going say 90 miles per hour. But what is happening? Four pistons are there, they go up and down, up and down. It goes and stops and comes down. So one is resting place and then another is the exalted state, and in between it is movement. So sattva, rajas and tamas in the reverse order to that of creation are reduced to their cause, namely consciousness associated with ignorance. all this happening because I am the observer is associated with this world. Now, this ignorance and the consciousness associated with it, such as Ishvara, etc., even so-called God, Ishvara, creator, is also a conception, etc., are resolved into the transcendent Brahman, which is unassociated. Just imagine, I am talking, I am thinking. So this thinking is, I am conscious, I am utilizing my consciousness for thinking. So this is associated with. But something is there which is not associated. Who is observing me and saying, no, this is not right word. Correct this word. Even its presence, there is no need of telling. Within you also, Swami, I think this is not right word. That is, its presence. Just feel. One thing is associated with all this creation, and one thing is not associated with this. That untainted, that is Brahman. So, transcendent Brahman, unassociated with ignorance, which is the substratum of them all. We have to find that observer. What we do? We'll do japam, concentrate our mind. We do good work to purify our hearts, so that we are established in that. Yes, devotion is good because that purifies. Surrendering is good. Why? Because that effaces our ego, removes our small ego, bajjat, that unripe ego. We have to surrender. We have to repeat the name of God. We have to sing His glories. Why? To cleanse our heart, to find out that which is untainted, which is within me, within us. There is no us. It is the same entity that looks multifarious, but in reality there is not many. So abhyam adhyaropo apavada adhyaropo apavadabhyam tattvamadhartha shodhanam api siddhyam bhavati. By this process of superimposition and refutation, the precise significance of that and thou is clearly determined. Okay, this will come. So, for today, that we have to find that observer. For everything there must be an observer. But what we have to find out, that observer which is untainted, which is not in conjunction or in connection with the outer objective world that we see, observe. No. That untainted, that we have to discover. That is reality. So do it here or after going to that abode of God. Same thing. So it is up to us. So we have no problem. Like as Hanuman said, when we feel that we are separate, it is better to submit. Yes, I am your servant, I am your son, daughter. But when we have this uplifting thoughts, yes, why not? Jnatum, drashtum, pravishtum cha dhananjaya. That we should know Him, we should understand Him, we should, and also enter into Him. Why not? We are not separate. This is the strength of knowledge. Okay, Akshay, any question? Akshay? Oh. Okay, he has left then. Fine. So we say our prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna-arpanamastu. See, we also do the same thing. We offer. We worship God. But, if I am a child of God, God's DNA is with me. Right? And what is God's DNA? God's DNA is viveka, discrimination, renunciation, divine quality. That is in me. We have to claim it.
Maharaj,
Eh,
Pranam Maharaj.
Namaskar.
Maharaj, can we go back to 141? There is
141.
one.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
One.
so here,
Yeah.
uncompounded elements, the reverse order to that of creation. What do they mean by that?
Okay. Just remember how we talked about in superimposition.
Uh-huh.
That 5 tanmatra, then panchikaranam, the
Uh-huh.
admixture, uh, 4/8
Mhm.
part of its own, and 1/4, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8. That means that becomes 4/8. That means 1/2, 1/2. Then it becomes grossified.
Ah.
So now you are merging in its origin. So as
Ah.
Buddhists said, Buddhist, they have that what is that? Um, that merging of origination. That just a minute. Dependence origination. Patitya samutpadam. Patitya samutpadam means you have to find the cause, merge the effect in the cause. We have to find the cause. Say, like, this is a painting. Who painted it? Let me find out. So how it is painted? So there is a painter. So this is from effect, one should find the cause. So how it became grossified? It became grossified because of the subtle elements and the causal elements. That means tanmatra. From tanmatra it has come out, so let it merge in its reality, in its origin. So dependent origination, patitya samutpada. So actually I find the Buddhist idea, that's a different kind of process, but it is the similar thing. Anyway, there is no time to talk about it.
Okay. Pranam Maharaj.
But this is very good question. Yeah. Okay, we say our prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna-arpanamastu. Thank you. Thank you. Namaste.
Swamiji. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma. Jai Ma.
Namaste, Swami.
Namaste.
Namaste, Swami.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Pranam Maharaj.
Namaste. Namaste. Jai Ma. Jai Ma. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.